Tunnel vision. Oh my goodness, this is something that I find is a very, very key thing that a lot of people need to work on. After coaching on my Patreon lads, I've found that a lot of the students on there are so tunnel visioned. They're not looking around, they're not looking for options, and this is a very, very big issue, and I'm guessing it's a big issue for you guys. So I'm about to break down how to be less tunnel vision and more open-minded in your attack, and also in the defense as well, in FIFA 22.
Three men around him to somehow find some space. Ronaldo, fantastic, opening the drive back.
He's made himself the tiniest bit of space.
Almost feels like a bit of a taunt. Didn't really go for him.
Oh! The display there is absolutely ridiculous. The Elastico on the goal line. On the goal line, the finest.
We
of
talked about
margins.
AussieFIFA. He's not here to make up the numbers.
What I mean by tunnel vision is the player is only really focusing on the player who he's defending with or who he has the ball with. So whether it's in the attack or the defense, the player, the person who's playing, will only really focus on what's slightly around them. Whether it's the defender next to them, whether it's the the dribbling that they're doing, they'll usually focus on the player when they're attempting to dribble around and make a pass, and they'll only really look at who is available near them, whether it's the closest player to make a pass to, whether it's a player who's 2 players away. They will always be tunnel visioned and they won't focus on what is around them, what players are making runs, etc, etc. So I am about to break down a few techniques of how to be less tunnel visioned and basically be open-minded in FIFA 22. Utilising the map is a very key way of staying open-minded in FIFA 22, because what it does is allow you to see what players are available on the pitch, who is not being marked, and what options are available. So essentially, in situations where you might have a winger who's up the pitch but you can't quite see him because of the camera angle, you might want to take a look at the map, see where he's positioned. If he is behind the defender, you might want to tap R1 because that will bring him towards you so he can make a pass into him. Another reason why the map is very good and staying open-minded is, let's say your opponent is team pressing you and you try and get away from him. A good thing about the map is we can look down on the map, see who is showing for the ball in the midfield. We might be able to do a dink from the keeper into him, or we in general might be able to make a pass into the winger who is open and who is in front of the defender to ensure that he will receive that ball. This one goes for in the attack, especially when you're building up and you're looking for a passing option and you're in the midfield. A lot of players will just focus on who's available in the midfield whilst not looking at what their strikers are doing. And I iterated this in one of the previous tutorials just recently over the last week in terms of finding the striker's feet. A lot of people will just focus on the player with the ball and what they're doing with them without looking at what their striker's doing. The passing option might be there. They might be coming in front of the defensive line to receive the ball, but they're not looking at that, and that's a big problem, lads. So a way to stop being so tunnel vision is to not always focus on the player who has the ball. You need to focus on the players around you, whether it's the striker coming into you, whether it's the winger making the run. You need to always be looking at these players, looking around the pitch and seeing who is available to make that pass into them. In terms of dribbling, I've iterated this in the previous tutorial as well, but a key thing about dribbling is not being so tunnel visioned and being open-minded. What I mean by that is a lot of players will just focus on the defender near them, thinking, okay, I've got to beat this defender. No, you need to be open-minded, and I use the analogy of skiing. The way you dribble this year is you need to dribble through the space, okay? In through the path, not focusing so much on where the defenders are and being so tunnel vision. You need to focus on where the space is around you, okay? So not being so tunnel vision that way and actually being open-minded about the space around you and the path that's available. In terms of skiing and the analogy, I say skiers are always looking at the path when they're skiing. They're never looking at the trees. If they look at the trees and be so tunnel visioned, then they'll hit the tree. If they're open-minded and they're looking down the path and they're looking through and weaving through and looking down the path into the space, and they will hit that space, okay? So it's important that in general, lads, when we are dribbling, we need to look at the space and of course the path. This one goes for in the defense, a very, very important aspect. A lot of times, lads, people will be so tunnel visioned in their defense that they're only focusing on the defender they have control with. This is a big mistake. You need to be looking around, especially at the runners. And this is where right stick switching comes in. There was a runner Let's say the winger is making the run at the top, and you're being tunnel vision, and you're not focusing on that, you're focusing on the defender you have control of. You might miss that runner, and he has an easy through ball over the top into that winger. You need to be less tunnel vision and be looking around at who's making runs in situations when you're defending, so you can then select the defender that's necessary to track that run, whilst at the same time, let's say, pressing the player with the ball with R1, which is the second man press technique. This is very, very important, lads, and it will prevent you from conceding counter-attacks in FIFA 22. There you have it, lads. There's 4 quick tips on how to be less tunnel visioned in FIFA 22. It's such a crucial technique of obviously playing better in the defense and in the attack, because tunnel vision play, lads, is super bad, whether it's in the defense or attack, and you need to be open-minded, especially when you're playing FIFA 22 and at a higher level. But that will signal the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Can we smash a like, drop a sub, and also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm doing tutorials on there, lads. I'm also showing my gym progress on Instagram as well, so you can keep in touch over there with the No Money Spent series that I'm doing on the channel. But I'm also coaching one-on-one on Patreon, lads. So if you want to be coached by me personally, links in the description down below. But as always, I hope you have a good day. I'm out. Sayonara, au revoir, adios, salam, ciao. Goodbye.